Park Do-hyun was tired, his bones were tired, his soul was tired. He had spent 12 hours staring at computer screens, fixing code that should have worked but didn't. His boss had yelled at him, his co-workers had ignored him. The subway home was packed with people who pushed and shoved without saying sorry. Now, at 11 at night, he just wanted to fall into his bed and forget the world existed. He unlocked his apartment door and stepped inside. He didn't turn on the lights. He knew his small apartment by heart, 30 steps from the door to his bedroom. He had walked this path 1,000 times in the dark. But tonight, something was different. There was someone in his bed. Do-hyun's hand found the light switch. He flipped it on. His heart stopped. A woman was sleeping in his bed. She was wrapped in his blankets like she owned them. Her skin was pale blue, like the sky just before sunrise. Silver lines ran across her cheeks and forehead like gentle rivers. Her hair was white and spread across his pillow like snow. She was not human. Do-hyun screamed. The woman's eyes snapped open. They were violet, deep and endless, like looking into space itself. She sat up slowly, the blanket falling from her shoulders. She wore a strange outfit that looked like it was made of liquid silver. Do-hyun grabbed his phone to call the police, but when he looked at the screen, it was dead. He pressed the power button again and again. Nothing. The phone was completely dead, even though he had charged it fully that morning. The woman tilted her head and looked at him with curiosity. She did not seem afraid. She did not seem worried. She looked at him like he was exactly where he was supposed to be. "Who are you?" Do-hyun demanded. His voice was shaking. "What are you? How did you get in here?" The woman opened her mouth. The sounds that came out were not Korean. They were not any language Do-hyun had ever heard. They sounded like music and wind and something ancient. Then she paused. Her violet eyes flickered. She tried again. "I am Lyra," she said. Her Korean was broken and strange, like she had learned it only minutes ago. "I have come for you." "For me?" Do-hyun stepped back until he hit the wall. "I don't know you. Get out of my apartment. Get out now." Lyra stood up from the bed. She was tall, almost as tall as him. She moved like water, smooth and graceful. She walked toward him, and Do-hyun pressed himself harder against the wall. "You called to me," she said. "Across the stars, across the void. Your heart cried out, and I heard it." "I didn't call anyone. I don't even know what you are." "I am Veth," Lyra said. "My people find our mates through the bond. We feel emotions across space. Your loneliness." She placed her hand over her chest. It was so strong, so deep. It reached my world, and it touched my soul. So I came. Do-hyun's mind was spinning. This couldn't be real. He was dreaming. He had to be dreaming. He had worked too hard, and now his brain was breaking. "I'm not lonely," he said, but the words felt like lies even as he spoke them. Lyra looked at him with those violet eyes. They were gentle and sad. "You are the loneliest person I have ever felt," she said softly. "Your pain echoes like a bell in an empty room. You go to work and no one sees you. You come home and no one waits for you. You sleep alone and dream of warmth that never comes." Do-hyun felt his chest tighten. How could she know? How could this stranger, this alien, see inside him so clearly? He had built walls around his heart after Nari left him. He had told himself he was fine alone. He had believed it, or tried to. "You need to leave," he said. His voice was weaker now. "Please, I don't understand any of this. I just want to sleep." "I cannot leave," Lyra said. "The bond has begun. To leave now would be death. For me." "What?" "My people bond once in our lives. When we find our mate, we connect to them. If I leave before the bond is complete, I will fade. My life force will drain away." She said this calmly, like she was explaining the weather. Do-hyun ran his hands through his hair. This was insane. He was standing in his bedroom with an alien woman who said she would die if she left. This could not be his life. "Okay," he said. "Okay, just stay there. Don't touch anything. I need to think." He walked to his kitchen. He needed water. He needed air. He needed something to make sense. Behind him, he heard Lyra moving around. He turned to see her opening his refrigerator. She pulled out a carton of eggs and stared at it with fascination. "What is this?" she asked. "Eggs? Don't—" She squeezed the carton. Eggs exploded everywhere. Yellow yolk dripped down her arms and onto his floor. "Oh no," Do-hyun groaned. "I am sorry," Lyra said. But she didn't look sorry. She looked fascinated. She licked some egg off her finger. "Interesting texture." Do-hyun spent the next hour cleaning egg off his floor while Lyra watched. She asked questions about everything. What is a refrigerator? Why is food cold? What is this box with pictures? That was his television. She pressed buttons and turned it on, then jumped back when sound came out. By midnight, Do-hyun was exhausted beyond words. His bedroom was his only option for sleep, and Lyra had already returned to his bed like it belonged to her. "I will sleep on the couch," he said. "No," Lyra said. "You must sleep near me. The bond requires closeness." "I am not sleeping in the same bed as you." "Then you will be tired tomorrow. Your choice." She lay down and closed her eyes, leaving half the bed empty. She looked peaceful, like a strange blue angel. Do-hyun stood there for a long time. Every logical part of his brain told him to run, call the government, call someone, but his phone was still dead. His computer wouldn't turn on either. Nothing electronic worked near her. He was trapped with an alien woman who thought she was his wife. Finally, too tired to fight, Do-hyun lay down on the far edge of his bed. He stayed as far from her as possible, his body stiff as a board. "Good night, my mate," Lyra whispered. "I am not your mate," Do-hyun said firmly. But she just smiled with her eyes closed. "You will be." Do-hyun stared at the ceiling for a long time. His life had been boring and empty before tonight. Now it was insane. He wasn't sure which was worse. 1 week passed, and Do-hyun's life became chaos. Every morning, he woke up to find Lyra already awake, staring at him with those violet eyes. She watched him like he was the most interesting thing in the universe. It was strange and uncomfortable, but also, in some small way, nice. No one had looked at him like that in a very long time. She followed him everywhere. When he told her she couldn't come to work, she revealed that her people could bend light around their bodies. She could become invisible. "I will protect you," she said. "A mate protects." "I don't need protection. I work in an office." She came anyway. The first day, his rude co-worker Junho made fun of Do-hyun's shirt in front of everyone. 5 minutes later, Junho's coffee cup tipped over by itself and spilled all over his expensive pants. Junho screamed and ran to the bathroom. The second day, Do-hyun's boss, Mr. Kwon, called him into his office to yell at him about a missed deadline. In the middle of his shouting, his computer screen went black, then blue. Then it started making a sound like a dying animal. Mr. Kwon forgot about Do-hyun and called IT in a panic. The third day, a woman from accounting who always ignored Do-hyun suddenly smiled at him. Later, he found a note on his desk that said, "You have pretty eyes." He looked around but saw no one. That night, Lyra admitted she had written it. "Why?" he asked. "You should know you are valued," she said simply. Do-hyun didn't know what to say to that. At home, things were even stranger. Lyra had been improving his apartment. Alien plants now grew from his walls. They had purple leaves and glowed softly at night. When he tried to remove them, they made a sad sound, and Lyra looked at him with such disappointment that he left them alone. His refrigerator was the biggest shock. When he opened it, he did not see the inside of his refrigerator. He saw a vast space filled with floating food from places he couldn't imagine, fruits that sparkled, vegetables that moved. Meat that he hoped was meat. It is a pocket dimension, Lyra explained. Much more storage. I don't need more storage. I only buy food for one person. You buy food for two now, she said, and smiled. On Friday evening, disaster struck. His best friend, Kang Ji-hye, came to visit without warning. Ji-hye was a loud, energetic woman who had been Do-hyun's friend since university. She had a key to his apartment for emergencies. She used it whenever she felt like it. Do-hyun, she shouted as she walked in. I brought chicken and beer. You need to stop being so sad and... She stopped. She stared. Lyra stood in the kitchen wearing one of Do-hyun's shirts. She had been trying to cook something that was either soup or a science experiment. Her blue skin glowed under the kitchen lights. Oh my God, Ji-hye whispered. Ji-hye, I can explain. You have a girlfriend, Ji-hye screamed. She dropped the chicken and ran to Lyra, grabbing her hands. Hello, I am Ji-hye. I am Do-hyun's best friend. Where are you from? Are you wearing makeup? Your skin is amazing. Lyra looked at Do-hyun with confusion. This female is very loud. Yes, she is, Do-hyun sighed. Ji-hye thought Lyra was a foreigner with unusual skin condition and strange fashion sense. She asked 100 questions, and Lyra answered them all with her broken Korean and innocent honesty. How did you two meet? I came to his bed and told him we are mates. Ji-hye's eyes went wide. She looked at Do-hyun with new respect. Wow, okay. Fast mover. It's not like that, Do-hyun said desperately. It is exactly like that, Lyra said. Ji-hye stayed for 3 hours. She taught Lyra how to eat fried chicken. Lyra's first bite made her freeze completely for 10 seconds. Then she ate an entire chicken by herself. Humans make food like this, she said with wonder. My people eat nutrition paste. This is art. After Ji-hye left with promises to visit again soon, Do-hyun sat heavily on his couch. Lyra sat beside him, closer than necessary. Your friend is kind, Lyra said. She loves you. She's my only friend, Do-hyun admitted. Why? He shrugged. I'm not good with people. I say the wrong things. I'm too quiet. People forget I exist. Lyra was silent for a moment. Then she spoke. On my world, I was also alone. My people bond in groups, but I never fit. I felt too much. I wanted too much. They called me broken. Do-hyun looked at her. For the first time, he saw something familiar in her alien face. Loneliness. The same loneliness that lived in his own chest. Why did you really come here? He asked quietly. Lyra's violet eyes grew sad. My planet is dying. Our sun is fading. In 100 years, Veth will be gone. My people scatter across the stars, looking for mates on other worlds to keep our species alive. But She paused. I did not want to just survive. I wanted to find someone who would understand me. Someone whose heart matched mine. And you think that's me? I know it is. I felt your emotions from across the galaxy, Do-hyun. Your sadness, your hope, your kindness that you hide because you are afraid to be hurt. You are not broken. You are beautiful. Do-hyun felt his throat tighten. No one had ever said anything like that to him. Not his ex-girlfriend, not his parents, no one. I don't know how to do this, he said. I don't know how to be someone's mate. I failed at being a regular boyfriend. How can I be a mate to an alien? Lyra reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was cool and smooth. You don't have to know. We learn together. That is what the bond is. Not perfection, just trying. Together. Do-hyun looked at her hand on his. Blue on tan. Alien on human. It should have felt wrong, but it didn't. Okay, he said finally. You can stay, but we're going slow, and you have to stop breaking my electronics. Lyra's face lit up with a smile so bright it made his chest hurt. Thank you, Do-yun. I will be a good mate. I will learn your customs. I will make you happy. You can start by learning how to use the stove without setting off the fire alarm. I will try. She tried. She failed. The fire alarm went off 3 times that night. But for the first time in months, Do-yun found himself laughing. Really laughing. Maybe this alien woman was insane. Maybe his life was now completely crazy. But maybe, just maybe, crazy was exactly what he needed. 1 month. 30 days of living with an alien woman who called herself his mate. Do-hyun was surprised to realize he didn't hate it. Lyra had learned many things. She could now use the stove without fire. She could watch television without screaming at it. She understood that eggs were for eating, not squeezing, small victories. She still slept in his bed. He had stopped moving to the far edge. Sometimes he woke up and found her hand touching his. He told himself it was an accident. He told himself he didn't like it. He was lying to himself. On a Saturday morning, Do-hyun decided to show Lyra more of his world. They took the subway to Namdaemun Market, the oldest market in Seoul. It was crowded with people buying food, clothes, and everything else. Lyra was invisible at first, but the crowd and the noise overwhelmed her. Staying invisible took concentration she couldn't maintain. She flickered into view between 2 food stalls. A grandmother selling vegetables stared at her with wide eyes. Lyra bowed deeply to show respect. Too deeply. Her forehead hit the ground. "Ow," she said. The grandmother laughed. "Foreigner?" she asked Do-hyun. "Very foreign," he said. The grandmother gave Lyra a free apple and called her pretty. Lyra held the apple like it was treasure. They walked through the market together. Lyra asked about everything. Why do humans wear so many different clothes? Why do they need so many kinds of bags? Why is that man yelling about fish? "He's selling them," Do-hyun explained. "He seems angry." "That's just how you sell fish." They stopped at a food stall. Do-hyun bought tteokbokki, spicy rice cakes swimming in red sauce. Lyra looked at the food with suspicion. "It's red," she said. "It's delicious." "Red means danger on most planets." "Just try it." Lyra put a rice cake in her mouth. She chewed twice. Then she froze. Her violet eyes went wide. Her face turned slightly purple. "Lyra, are you okay?" She grabbed his arm with both hands. Her grip was very strong. "What is this?" she gasped. "My mouth is burning. It burns." "But I want more. Why do I want more?" "That's spice. Humans eat pain, on purpose, for fun?" "Yes." She stared at him like he had told her humans could fly. "Your species is terrifying." But she finished the entire bowl. Later, they sat on a bench in a small park. The trees were changing color for autumn. Red and orange leaves fell around them like fire from the sky. Lyra caught a leaf and studied it. "Your world is very beautiful," she said. "There is so much life, so many colors. What was your world like?" Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she reached out and touched his hand. "Close your eyes," she said. "I will show you." Do-hyun hesitated. "Show me how." "My people share memories through touch. It will not hurt, I promise." He closed his eyes. He felt her cool fingers on his skin. Then the world disappeared. He stood on an alien planet. The sky was white, not blue. 3 small suns hung in the distance, but they were dim and weak. The ground was covered in silver sand. In the distance, he saw a city. It was made of crystal. Towers rose into the sky like frozen music. But something was wrong. The towers were cracking. The crystal was turning gray. Pieces broke off and fell silently to the ground. People walked through the city. They looked like Lyra, with blue skin and silver markings, but they moved slowly, like they were already ghosts. Their eyes were dull. Their faces showed no expression. The city was dying. The planet was dying. He could feel it in the air. in the ground, in everything, a slow, quiet death. Then he saw a young Lyra. She stood alone on a balcony, looking out at the fading suns. She was crying, but no one came to comfort her. No one even looked at her. She was alone in a world full of people. Do-yun opened his eyes. He was back in the park, back on Earth. Tears were running down his face without his permission. "My planet has maybe 100 years," Lyra said quietly. "Maybe less. We cannot save it. We can only save ourselves. That is why we search for mates on other worlds, to continue, to survive." "I'm sorry," Do-yun whispered. "I'm so sorry." "Do not be sorry. I found you. I am not alone anymore." She looked at him, and her violet eyes were full of something deep. Hope, trust, maybe something more. Do-yun realized his hand was still holding hers. He didn't let go. That night, they walked home together. Lyra had learned to wrap her skin in light so she looked human. Pink skin instead of blue. Brown eyes instead of violet. She looked strange to him now. He had gotten used to her true face. "You look better blue," he said. She smiled. "You say kind things now. You did not when I first arrived. You broke my eggs when you first arrived. I said sorry for the eggs. You ate 12 eggs the next day to make up for it. That's not how apologies work." She laughed. Her laugh was like bells and wind. He loved that sound. When they reached his building, someone was waiting outside. Do-yun's chest turned to ice. It was Yun-Nari, his ex-girlfriend. She stood there in her expensive coat with her perfect hair, looking at him with a smile that used to make his heart race. Now it just made him feel cold. "Do-yun," Nari said. "I've been trying to call you." "My phone doesn't work well lately," he said. Nari looked at Lyra. Her eyes moved up and down, judging. "Who's this?" "A friend," Do-yun said quickly. "I am his mate," Lyra said at the same time. Nari's eyebrows rose. "Mate? That's interesting word choice?" She laughed, but it wasn't a nice laugh. "Listen, Do-hyun, I made a mistake. Breaking up with you was wrong. I've had time to think, and I realize you were good for me. We should try again." Do-hyun stood frozen. 6 months ago, he would have said yes immediately. He had loved Nari. He had cried for weeks when she left. He had dreamed of her coming back. But now he looked at her, and he felt nothing. No, that wasn't true. He felt something. He felt Lyra's hand squeezing his. He felt her emotions through the growing bond. She wasn't jealous. She was worried. Worried because she could feel his pain, his confusion. She was worried for him, not herself. "I can't," Do-yun said. Nari blinked. "What?" "I can't try again with you, Nari. I'm sorry." Her face changed. The sweet smile turned hard. "Because of her? This weird foreigner? You're choosing her over me?" Do-hyun looked at Lyra. Blue skin in pink disguise. Violet eyes hidden behind brown. An alien who crossed a galaxy because she felt his loneliness. Who stayed because she wanted to. Who cared about his happiness more than her own. "Yes," he said. "I am." Nari left with anger in her eyes and cruel words on her lips. Do-hyun didn't hear them. He was looking at Lyra. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "The bond doesn't require—" "I know," he said. "I wanted to." They went inside. They sat on his couch. The alien plants on his walls glowed softly. "The bond," Do-hyun said slowly. "It's not complete yet." "What does that mean?" "It means you have not chosen me fully," Lyra said. "I chose you when I came here, but you must choose me for it to be real. If you never choose, I will survive, but we will only be half-connected. Always almost, but never complete. And if I do choose, then we are truly bonded. I feel what you feel. You feel what I feel, always, forever." Forever. The word used to scare him. Now it didn't sound so frightening. But he wasn't ready. Not yet. "Can we wait?" he asked. "Can we just be together a little longer first?" Lyra smiled. She leaned over and kissed his cheek. Her lips were cool and soft. "We have time," she said. "I am not going anywhere." Outside, the autumn wind blew red leaves against the window. Inside, Do-Yun sat with an alien woman and felt, for the first time in years, that he might actually be home. 6 weeks since the night Lyra appeared in his bed. 42 days of learning to live with an alien. 42 days of slowly falling in love with her. Do-Yun didn't say it out loud. He wasn't ready for those words. But he felt it every morning when he saw her face. Every night when she slept beside him. Every moment she smiled at something human and strange. He was happy. He had forgotten what that felt like. But happiness, he would learn, always attracts trouble. It was a Tuesday night. Do-Yun came home from work tired but looking forward to seeing Lyra. She had promised to cook dinner without burning anything. He didn't believe her, but he appreciated the effort. He opened his apartment door. Lyra was standing in the middle of the living room. Her face was pale. Her violet eyes were wide with fear. She was shaking. "Lyra? What's wrong?" "They found me," she whispered. "They're here." Before he could ask who, the window exploded. Do-Yun flew backward from the blast. He hit the wall hard and fell to the floor. His ears rang. Glass was everywhere. His alien plants screamed in sounds he could feel but not hear. 3 figures floated through the broken window. They looked like Lyra but different. Taller. Harder. Their blue skin was darker, almost black. They wore armor that looked like living metal. Their eyes glowed red instead of violet. Soldiers. Alien soldiers. The one in front was largest. His armor had golden marks on it. A commander. His face was cold and cruel. He looked at Do-Yun like he was looking at an insect. "Lyra of House Ven," the commander said. His voice was deep and echoed strangely. "You are charged with abandoning your assigned mate and bonding with an unregistered species. You will return with us to face judgment." "Thiel," Lyra said. Her voice was steady now. Her fear turned to anger. "I did not abandon anyone. I was never assigned. I chose my own mate." "Your choice is irrelevant. The Council decides mates, not individuals. Your selfishness endangers our entire reproduction program." Thiel's red eyes moved to Do-Yun. "And this human is contaminated. He must be eliminated." "No!" Lyra stepped in front of Do-Yun. "He is innocent. He didn't know our laws. You cannot hurt him." "I can do whatever the Council requires." Do-Yun stood up slowly. His body hurt. His head was bleeding from the glass. But he walked forward and stood beside Lyra. "I'm not letting you take her," he said. Thiel stared at him. Then he laughed. It was an ugly sound. "You? A human? Your species hasn't even left your own solar system. You are children playing with rocks while we build empires. What can you possibly do to stop me?" Do-Yun had no answer. He had no weapons, no powers, no way to fight aliens who could fly through windows and probably destroy his entire building with a thought. But he didn't move. "I'm not letting you take her," he said again. Thiel's eyes narrowed. He raised his hand, and a device on his wrist glowed. He pointed it at Do-Yun. "Let me scan you, human. I want to see what makes you so stupidly brave." A beam of light hit Do-Yun. It went through him without pain, but left him feeling exposed, like Thiel was reading his entire being. The scan ended. Thiel looked at his device. His expression changed. The cruel amusement faded. Something else appeared, something like worry. "Interesting," Thiel said quietly. "The bond has already begun affecting you. Your neural pathways are changing. Adapting." He looked at Lyra with new suspicion. "How long have you been bonded?" 6 weeks, Lyra said. "Impossible. These changes take years in other species." Decades. Thiel looked back at Do-hyun. Humans adapt to the bond faster than any species on record. Much faster. If this continues... He didn't finish the sentence, but Do-hyun saw something in his red eyes. Fear. We're leaving, Thiel announced. The female comes with us. The human dies. I said no, Do-hyun repeated. Thiel moved so fast Do-hyun didn't see it. One moment he was across the room. The next his hand was around Do-hyun's throat, lifting him off the ground. Do-hyun couldn't breathe. He grabbed at Thiel's arm but might as well have grabbed steel. Brave, Thiel said, but stupid. Bravery without power is just suicide. Release him, Lyra screamed. She ran at Thiel, but the other soldiers grabbed her and held her back. Do-hyun's vision was going dark. He was going to die. He was going to die, and Lyra would be taken, and everything they had built would be gone. Then he heard a crash. The apartment door flew open. Ji-hye stood there holding a fire extinguisher like a weapon. Her eyes were wild. Let go of him, you blue freak. She swung the extinguisher at Thiel's head. It connected with a loud clang. Thiel barely moved, but his grip loosened for just a moment. Do-hyun fell to the ground, gasping for air. Thiel turned to Ji-hye with annoyance. He raised his hand to strike her. No! Lyra screamed. She pulled against the soldiers with sudden strength and broke free. She threw herself at Thiel, clawing at his face. Don't touch them! They are mine! The room erupted into chaos. Lyra fighting Thiel, soldiers trying to grab her, Ji-hye swinging her fire extinguisher at anything that moved, Do-hyun crawling to his feet trying to help. Then Thiel caught Lyra by the throat. He slammed her against the wall so hard it cracked. Enough! He growled. Lyra looked at Do-hyun. Her violet eyes were full of pain. Not physical pain. Worse. She looked at him like she was saying goodbye. Lyra, don't... If I go with them, she said softly, they will leave you alive. Both of you. I don't care. I'm not letting them take you. You cannot stop them. Do-hyun, not yet. A tear ran down her blue cheek. But the bond is not finished. You can still feel me, find me, but only if you're alive. Lyra, she closed her eyes. I choose to go. Thiel smiled with cruel satisfaction. A wise decision. He gestured to his soldiers. Take her. They grabbed Lyra and flew out through the broken window. Thiel followed last. He paused at the window and looked back at Do-hyun. Forget her, human, he said. If you try to follow, you will die. She will be assigned a proper mate. This never happened. Then he was gone. Do-hyun ran to the window. He saw lights rising into the sky, rising towards something massive hidden in the clouds. A ship. They were taking her to a ship. Then the lights disappeared. The clouds closed. She was gone. Do-hyun fell to his knees. Behind him, Ji-hye was shaking and pale but alive. She had cuts on her arms from the soldiers. Do-hyun, she said, what the hell just happened? What was that? Who were they? What is going on? He didn't answer. He couldn't speak. But inside his chest he felt something. A pull, a thread. Faint, but real. Lyra. He could still feel her, far away and getting farther. But there, she was in pain. She was scared. But she was alive, and she was calling for him. Do-hyun stood up. His hands were shaking, but not with fear anymore. With something else, something hot and fierce. I'm going to get her back, he said. Ji-hye stared at him. How? They're aliens. They have a spaceship. I don't know how, Do-hyun admitted, but I'm going to find a way. He looked out the broken window at the sky that had taken her. I'm coming, Lyra, he whispered. Just hold on. I'm coming. The wind blew cold through his destroyed apartment. Somewhere in space, far above him, Lyra felt his promise. And despite her fear, despite her pain, she smiled. Her mate was coming. 12 hours. 12 hours since they took Lyra. 12 hours of feeling her pain through the incomplete bond. 12 hours of planning the impossible. Do-Yun sat in his destroyed apartment with Ji-hye beside him. She hadn't left. She had 100 questions, and he had answered all of them. Aliens, bonds, mates, a dying planet, everything. "So you're telling me," Ji-hye said slowly, "that your blue girlfriend is actually an alien from a dying world who psychically bonded with you because you were lonely?" "Yes. And now her people took her back because she was supposed to mate with someone else?" "Yes. And you want to go rescue her from a spaceship?" "Yes." Ji-hye was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Okay. How do we do it?" Do-Yun looked at her with surprise. "You believe me?" "I hit an alien with a fire extinguisher, Do-Yun. I'm past the point of not believing." She grabbed his arm. "That woman loves you. I saw it in her eyes. I don't care if she's blue or has silver lines on her face. She loves you and you love her. So we're going to get her back." Do-Yun felt his eyes burn. He had never had a friend like Ji-hye. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." "We don't have a spaceship." But maybe they did. Do-Yun remembered something Lyra had said once. She mentioned that other aliens lived on Earth. Hidden, waiting, refugees from dead worlds and broken empires. An underground community that humans never saw. "I need to find them," Do-Hyun said. "The other aliens. Maybe they can help." "How do you find hidden aliens?" He closed his eyes and focused on the bond. The thread that connected him to Lyra also connected him to something else now. He could feel it, like echoes of other bonds nearby, other aliens with their own connections. He followed the feeling. It led them to Itaewon, to a small bar hidden down an alley. The sign was in a language Do-Hyun didn't recognize. When he walked in, the bartender looked human. But when Do-Hyun said Lyra's name, the bartender's eyes changed. They became gold with slit pupils. "You're her human," the bartender said. "We heard about you, the one who adapted too fast." Within an hour, Do-Hyun stood before a council of 7 aliens. They looked different from each other, different species from different worlds, but they all lived on Earth now, hiding among humans. "You want to attack a Veth warship," said one alien, a female with green skin and 4 arms. Her name was Mora. "That's suicide." "I don't want to attack it," Do-Hyun said. "I want to get on it. I want to get Lyra and get out." "Still suicide?" "Then help me make it not suicide." The aliens looked at each other. They were scared. The Veth were powerful, cruel. No one challenged them. But Do-Hyun didn't stop. He told them about Lyra, about her loneliness, about her kindness, about how she had chosen him not to survive, but to find someone who understood her. "She crossed a galaxy for me," Do-Hyun said. "I can cross a few miles of sky for her." Silence. Then Mora stood up. "I have a ship. It's small and old, but it flies. I'll take you." One by one, the others offered help. Weapons, codes, information about the Veth ship's layout. It wasn't an army, but it was something. 2 hours later, Do-Hyun sat in a tiny alien ship as it rose into the sky. Ji-hye was with him. She had refused to stay behind. "If you die, I'm going to be really mad at you," she said. "If I die, you can have my apartment. It doesn't have a window anymore." "Details." The ship flew higher and higher. The city became small. The clouds surrounded them. Then they passed through, and Do-Hyun saw it. The Veth warship. It was huge. Massive. A mountain of black metal floating in space. It looked like something that could destroy worlds. It probably had. Do-Hyun felt fear, real, deep fear. What was he doing? He was nobody. A software engineer from Seoul. He couldn't fight aliens. He couldn't save anyone. But then he felt Lyra through the bond. Closer now. Her pain. Her hope. She knew he was coming. She was waiting. He would not let her down. Mora flew the ship into a maintenance port on the warship's underside. They weren't detected. The Veth were arrogant. They didn't expect anyone to be stupid enough to attack them. Do-hyun entered the ship alone. Ji-hye wanted to come, but this part he had to do himself. The inside of the warship was cold and dark. Everything was metal and sharp edges. No warmth, no color. It felt like a prison. He followed the bond. It pulled him through corridors and past guards who didn't see him. Mora had given him a device that bent light around him. Lyra's trick, invisible. Finally, he found her. She was in a cell. Energy bars instead of metal. She sat in the corner, her blue skin pale, her violet eyes dim. She looked broken. Then she felt him. Her head snapped up. She saw nothing, but she knew. "Do-hyun," she whispered. He turned off the device and appeared in front of her cell. "I'm here." Lyra stood up. Tears ran down her face. "You came. You actually came. I told you I would." He used another device from the aliens to break the cell's energy bars. They flickered and died. Lyra ran out and threw her arms around him. She was cold and shaking, but she was alive. She was here. "We need to go," Do-hyun said. "Now!" They ran, but they didn't get far. Thiel was waiting in the corridor. "I knew you would come," the commander said. He looked at Do-hyun with those red eyes. "Humans, so predictable, so emotional. You can't help yourselves." "Let us go," Do-hyun said. Thiel laughed. "You broke into a Veth warship for one female. You're either the bravest creature I've ever seen or the stupidest. Either way, you die now." He raised his weapon. "Wait," Do-hyun said. "Before you kill me, let me say something." Thiel paused with amusement. "What could you possibly say?" Do-hyun took a breath. His heart was pounding. But the words came. "You think the bond is just about reproduction," he said. "Making babies, continuing your species. But it's not. The bond is about choice. It's about two people deciding to be together, not because they have to. Because they want to. That's foolish sentiment. No, it's love." Do-hyun looked at Lyra. "Lyra didn't choose me because some council told her to. She chose me because she felt my heart. And I choose her because I feel hers. That's what the bond is supposed to be. That's what your people forgot." He turned back to Thiel. "You can kill me, but you can't kill what we have. And you can't stop others from wanting the same thing." His words echoed through the corridor. He didn't know it, but the ship's communication system was on. His voice broadcast to every speaker, every room, every cell where bonded pairs were kept prisoner. Other Veth heard him. Pairs who had been forced together, who had never chosen each other, who had never known they could. And something began to change. Thiel saw it on his scanner. Alerts appearing everywhere, prisoners breaking free, soldiers refusing orders, chaos spreading through the ship. "What did you do?" Thiel snarled. "I told them the truth," Do-hyun said. Thiel raised his weapon with fury. Lyra grabbed Do-hyun's hand. "Complete the bond," she said urgently. "Now, choose me fully." "Lyra, trust me." Do-hyun looked into her violet eyes. He felt the thread between them, the connection that had been building for 6 weeks. All he had to do was accept it, fully, forever. He had been afraid of forever, afraid of being hurt, afraid of losing someone again, but he wasn't afraid anymore. "I choose you," he said, "fully, completely, forever." The bond completed. Power exploded through them, not physical power, emotional power. Do-hyun felt everything Lyra felt. Her love for him deep and endless. Her hope for her people, her sorrow for her dying world, and she felt everything he felt. His loneliness transformed into belonging, his fear transformed into courage, his love, human love, vast and fierce and uncontrollable. The power spread outward. Everyone nearby felt it. Veth soldiers stopped fighting, prisoners stopped running. They all felt the wave of pure emotion crashing over them. This is what love feels like. the wave seemed to say. This is what you were meant to have. Thiel staggered backward. His red eyes went wide. He had never felt anything like this. His species felt emotions weakly, distantly. But this was overwhelming. "What are you?" he gasped. "Human," Do-hyun said. "And her mate." Thiel fell to his knees. His weapon dropped from his hand. All around them, the mutiny grew. Veth crew members chose their own mates, rejected their assigned pairs, demanded freedom. The ship's council sent a message of surrender. The old ways were over. Do-hyun and Lyra walked off the ship hand in hand. 6 months later, they were married. The ceremony was small. Ji-hee was there. Mora was there. A dozen aliens and humans who had become their family. Earth had made quiet contact with the Veth rebellion. Do-hyun and Lyra served as ambassadors. Lyra's people began to come to Earth with permission. They found that human emotional depth could help heal their fading species. Humans loved so strongly that even partial bonds with them could restore Veth, who had lost all hope. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and the universe was better for it. On their wedding night, Do-hyun lay in bed beside his wife, his alien wife, his mate. 6 weeks ago, he said, I came home and found a strange woman in my bed. I was not strange, Lyra said. I was your destiny. You were very strange. You broke my eggs. I made you happy. You made me crazy first. She smiled and moved closer to him. Her blue skin was warm now. She had learned to regulate her temperature for him. Do you regret it? She asked. Choosing me? Do-hyun pulled her close. He kissed her forehead, her cheek, her lips. Never, he said. Not for 1 second. Outside their window, the stars shone bright. Somewhere among them was Veth, still dying but no longer without hope. Somewhere among them were Lyra's people, scattered across the galaxy but finally free to choose. And here on Earth, in a small apartment in Seoul, a lonely human had found his place in the universe. She had crossed galaxies to find him. He had only had to cross the distance of his own heart. But it was the hardest journey he had ever made, and the most worth it.